do anything.
I didn't say he's better, but
no, but
you said
he should be atop the mountain. And Lamar should have been even ahead of Mahomes.
So can Mahomes do anything on Saturday to reassert his claim as the best quarterback in the NFL?
Look, I'm sold on Josh Allen, so there's nothing Mahomes can do. There's nothing Mahomes can do. However, this is where Mahomes tends to separate himself from everyone else.
Oh, okay.
Well, then I don't understand.
So,
No. Let me explain. This is where he tends to separate himself from every other player in this league, because is he the best player right now? No, and not in my opinion. But when he is hurt and injured, when the playing field has been skewed and he is injured, he finds a way to elevate his level of play to where most players can't get to that place. Like, I remember Brett Favre telling me, like, the difference between good players and great players is good players can play hurt, they can play injured, and they're okay. Great players can play great while injured. That's Mahomes. So when he plays, you go up against this guy, and you automatically, if you're the Texans, you're looking like, okay, he's injured, he's a little hobbled, he's not going to be able to do all those other things. Well, players like Mahomes, he is so good, so skilled, it's going to force him to actually lock in and be great with the details.
He actually said that. If you remember, I think it was the Bucs game, one of the games where it looked like he really hurt his leg on the sideline, but he was fine. They asked him about it afterwards. He said something very similar. He's like, actually, when I'm banged up, I'm like a little more precise.
He can't lean on his athletic ability and just that freelance
might be why
type.
he's so insistent on playing.
But so for me, I mean, again, this is not about Patrick Mahomes needing to be the best player in the National Football League right now. I don't think he has to be. He just has to be what he needs to be for them.
So that maybe that's a different discussion but this one is. So I have a question for you.
Okay.
So because I think all of us are in agreement, Mahomes not having the best season.
Yeah.
That's not even debatable right now. Even the most ardent quarterback win zealot, I don't think would say Mahomes is having the best season of any player. And I don't want to misquote you, but your belief is Josh Allen's the best quarterback in football right now,
yes.
Correct? Okay. Let's say this postseason plays out exactly like last postseason. They play, Mahomes outplays him and wins. And then next regular season plays out like this one. Will you still feel that way? Well, if it happens again, and it's like, my question is there at any point the most meaningful, the results and not just the win, outplaying the other guy in the most meaningful spots carry more weight than the preamble to it?
So that's the thing. So for me, it eventually it starts to carry weight. But from a player's perspective, I don't automatically think just because I lost to you.
But what if you lost and got outplayed? Because
that's where it starts to get a little murky. If every time we watch Josh and Mahomes go head to head, and Mahomes just outplayed him every time, especially we can talk postseason.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's been the case.
So here's the problem with that. And this is where my frustration comes. They've played in the playoffs 3 times.
Yep.
First time, they won by 3 scores. It was a blowout. Mahomes wildly outplayed him. Last year, Mahomes clearly outplayed him. Josh had 180 yards passing, 4.7 yards per attempt, and 86 rating, 1 touchdown. The famous game, which I think at best you can call a draw, but Mahomes had more yards passing, more yards rushing. They both had 4 touchdowns. So certainly Mahomes has never been outplayed by the guy in the playoffs. And this is what is the frustrating part of the conversation. It feels to me like if in 2021, 2021, if we were sitting up here and I was like, listen, guys, I don't care. I'm just telling you, Aaron Rodgers is better than Tom Brady. And it's like, well, Brady just won last year's Super Bowl and beat Aaron in the playoffs and has is the far more decorated player. And it's like, yeah, I don't know, but Aaron's going to win MVP again. I think that would have been a ridiculous stance. And I would argue, oddly, the gap between 6 Super Bowls to 1 is closer than 3 to 0.
Okay, this is hilarious because Nick used to maintain that Aaron Rodgers is actually a better quarterback than Tom Brady. So it's kind of funny how he's kind of switching that around. I've already been over this so many times. Last year, Josh Allen was not outplayed by Patrick Mahomes. He was not outplayed by Patrick Mahomes. Josh Allen had to literally do more for his team than Patrick Mahomes. I'll say it one more time. He was the leading rusher for the Bills, and he had more completions than Patrick Mahomes had passing attempts. He would have had even more completions and more yards if his receivers caught the ball. There was 3 huge throws, deep, long shots that hit his receivers in the hands that they dropped. And you want to put that on Josh Allen. It's just insanity and absurdity. This isn't even where I thought this conversation was going to go, because I was prepared to be like, listen, Patrick Mahomes doesn't need to prove he's the best, this, that, and the third. I was going to have this whole conversation about it. And of course, Patrick Mahomes in any given moment can prove that he's the best quarterback in the NFL, because he's an unbelievably great player. I don't think it comes down to one single game. I think if he throws for 400 yards and has 4 total touchdowns, that he now automatically like, and that's kind of what Greg was saying, like he's sold on Josh Allen being the better quarterback. Josh Allen can do more. He's bigger, stronger, faster. He is a better quarterback. Patrick Mahomes has just been on a better team with a better coaching staff, with better players. That's undeniable. The problem with these conversations, Nick keeps saying, what drives me crazy? You know what drives me crazy is how extreme we have our takes about Patrick Mahomes. People say that I'm biased. They say that I'm biased for Josh Allen, okay? I use an example. When we were talking about Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes a couple days ago, I said that Patrick Mahomes has been on great teams, Kansas City Chiefs. I said Patrick Mahomes wouldn't have won Super Bowls with the Panthers, the Raiders. And people came back in the comments and said that Patrick Mahomes would have won a Super Bowl with the Raiders. And I said, what years are you talking about? And they said the last 3 years, Patrick Mahomes would have won Super Bowls with the Raiders. Do you understand how absurd of a take that is? You want to talk about bias? And then they say that I'm delusional for denying that I have a blind spot, that I just don't believe in PM15. Do you understand how insane that is? That is the delusion. That is the lack of awareness of what it takes to win football games. It's insanity. True, fundamental insanity and absurdity. You guys think that I'm the biggest Josh Allen fan and I'm a homer and I'm so biased and I'm this, that. Josh Allen's not winning Super Bowls with the Raiders. If he was on the Raiders last year, they're not winning the Super Bowl. Like, what? It's just comically, hilariously absurd. Truly. I mean, it's just, that's the insanity of the conversation that we have now. That apparently Patrick Mahomes would have been able to win a Super Bowl with every single team no matter where he went since his career started. Whether it was the New York Giants, the Panthers, the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Washington Commanders, just every single team. That's insanity. That is the true definition of insanity. And that's why these conversations are just really not even that interesting. And they're exhausting. Because I'm trying to argue 1 + 1 = 2. And the other person's trying to argue that 1 + 1 equals Japip, Jakaka, Lelulu. It's like, what did you just say? Were those words? What did you just say? Can you really say a number? What was that? Did you say Shikaka? Is that from Ace Ventura or something? I don't even know what you're saying. It's a completely different universe here. It's insanity. It's madness. That's why we can't have real conversations about this. I mean, it's just, again, I keep saying it, it's just absurd. It really, really is absurd. And again, Nick Wright keep trying to kind of move things around, trying to be like, well, Patrick Mahomes keeps outplaying Josh Allen. No, he does not. Even if we want to say that Patrick Mahomes outplayed Josh Allen last year, even if we just want to accept that as a reality, which we know it's not, Josh Allen had to go up against the top defense in the NFL last year. The Kansas City Chiefs were holding every single team to 19 points or less. The Buffalo Bills had 1,000,001 injuries. What are we talking about? So even when we want to have those conversations, we're not even having that aspect of the conversation honestly. And that's why Greg Jennings, an actual legitimate football player who played with none other than Aaron Rodgers, so he knows what it's like to be with greatness, understands, you know what, there's a lot more to this than just saying this guy won, this guy lost, this guy outplayed that guy. It's obvious if you look at it right now, these last couple of years. If you're asking any of these players, who would you rather play with? It's going to be Josh Allen. And again, it's funny, but people will say that I'm being biased or that I'm this, I'm that, and it's like, so, or I'm being a hater, and it's like, so Greg Jennings is being a hater of Mahomes? Broussard is being a hater of Mahomes? Colin Cowherd is being a hater of Mahomes? Like, I don't get it. I understand if you want to say, you know, I'm a hater or whatever, because who am I, or you know, Rex Ryan or whatever. Like, okay, I get it, whatever. But like, when have those guys ever proven to be haters of Patrick Mahomes? The answer is never. And the reality is I'm not a hater of Patrick Mahomes either. I understand some of y'all don't believe me. That's fine. Whatever. I guess, you know, once a week I'll have to just tell everyone I'm not a hater, I'm not a hater. But this is the type of comments that I deal with. People who want to say that Patrick Mahomes would have won a Super Bowl last year with the Raiders. We can acknowledge that that's absurd, right? We're all on the same page. Can Kansas City Chiefs fans who think that that's an insane statement, or even Patrick Mahomes fans who think that that's an insane statement, please rise to the top? Please speak up, because your sane voices are just being drowned out by the insanity, by the religion of Patrick Mahomes. We can say that Patrick Mahomes is great. We can say that Patrick Mahomes is the greatest quarterback to ever play in the NFL. You are more than able to have that opinion. We can disagree, but you can have it. It is a legitimate, genuine, valid opinion. It is not insane to say that Patrick Mahomes is the greatest of all time. That is not an insane statement. It's an insane statement to act like Patrick Mahomes can just win no matter what, no matter where he is, no matter what the team around him is, no matter who the coach is. That's the insanity of it all. Truly, that's the insanity of it all. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Patrick Mahomes and I guess a never-ending debate with Josh Allen? Do you think that there's anything that Patrick Mahomes can do to prove that he's still the best quarterback in the NFL? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.